Hi, in previous videos we looked at how to model this 80-tooth metric gear for 3D printing with a square hole in the middle for a steel shaft and the cylinder to fit the inner diameter of a 10 millimeter ID bearing. In this video I want to show how we might remove some material. When 3D printing, if we can cut some material out of the center here that does not really impact strength too much, we might be able to really speed up the printing process by printing just much less material and less layers. So note that here I have a top view and I have a orthographic or parallel projection. I could hit R for my ruler tool to get my ruler centered exactly. And now with this hole selected, I can easily zero the distance, just making sure that's distance to midpoint, and it is. I can zero out those distances, and now this hole will be perfectly centered. And through some previous experience, I know that I want this to be about 74 millimeters, maybe 73 or 74 millimeters wide. I'm just eyeballing right now to see how much material I want to leave. Note the segments here. That's sides in this control, and I can up that to the maximum to really round out that circle. Okay, so if I have my cylinder and just my cylinder and gear selected, I'll use the Shift key. I don't want to group with these items or they're going to disappear inside of that hole. You'll see that through a Control G or by hitting group up here, I essentially eliminate all that material, but of course now I need some kind of connection. So there are a lot of options here. One option might be to move this hole up in space. That's right here. I can move it up 3 millimeters. Or, excuse me, that moved it down, so I guess I would maybe move that to 12 instead. Now if I group with the gear, what we should see is that I'm just cutting that material out of the center. Okay, so that's one way to eliminate some material and still leave some strength. But I think I'm going to undo all the way back to here and completely eliminate that material because I want to show something else that's just kind of interesting. We can essentially make spokes using, I'm going to go to my favorites. You can also get these under shape generators and get this circular array. Okay, I can drop in this circular array. I just drop it anywhere and then make sure that the distance to the midpoint on my ruler are zeroed out. So that's going to be centered up now. And I think you can get an idea already of what I can do with this. I could reduce this down to maybe 5. Right now they're boxes. I can change shape and change size of those items. I could change the radius and could essentially make spokes that way by getting these thinner. Now if you look up here, I can change the shape of this circular array to a custom profile, and I'm hoping that I'm able to do the adjustment that I'm interested in here while making this video at the same time. Okay, so here's just kind of an interesting shape. I'll see if I can, maybe through adjusting the size, get those to connect. Okay, I may run, and probably by adjusting the radius in, I would bring those closer to the center also. So that's pretty much all it takes. I may move that radius in, but not so far that I interfere with that square hole. I can move those out, being careful not to interfere with the gear teeth, but also to have some overlap and connection. With the exception of this space here, I think that's connected enough that in 3D printing that is all going to join, but perhaps I could just bring those out a little bit. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. In terms of structure and strength, I don't know. I haven't exactly designed for that, but I'm going to drop this down to about 3 millimeters. And then if I hit the D button, it will drop it down to the work plane. And now I'm just going to group. I think I will just Control A and group everything. So Control A, Control G. And I'm going to go put this part on the printer.